Hey guys, Roast here with another Lost Ark video. Today I want to cover what you should be doing once you hit level 50 in Vern. At first, the game overloads you with information on all the different endgame activities, so I'm here to break down each one and go over the honing and tier system, along with covering other ways to level quickly. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'd like to ask you guys, what's your favorite region in game so far and why? Personally, I love Arthentine, not for the barren desert surface, but for all the cool mechs and technologies that remind me a lot of the Metal Gear Solid series. Today's question of the day, let's get started. So, you hit level 50, got to Vern, and now all the gear you're dropping from the main story is level 250 and not increasing. What gives? So, once you hit item level 250, you are officially in the beginning of the endgame content. This changes your core progression from leveling and finding new gear constantly to instead gathering materials and upgrading the same gear to vastly higher item levels. The best way to start this is to do a chaos dungeon or two once you unlock them, which will net you a full set of 302 gear. You can do this by heading to any large city and approaching the chaos dungeon statue. You can do these dungeons solo or through matchmaking, and they are basically horde mode where huge waves of enemies spawn continuously and you have to defeat a certain number, I believe 10,000. As such, it's best to run all the AoE abilities you can, and if you have long cooldowns, getting a paladin or bard in the group who gives spell haste is super useful. You can run 2 chaos dungeons for 4 rewards a day, and you can also run more after, but they drop way fewer pieces of loot and award a different currency that can be used to buy a set number of upgrade materials each week. Once you get a dungeon or two done, you should have a large number of items in your inventory, and the best way to decide what to keep or dismantle is by checking quality, bonus stats, and engraving nodes. For most armor pieces, all that matters is getting the highest quality, but for jewelry and ability stones, stats and node points will be the deciding factors more often than not. You will need to decide early on which stats you want to focus and what engravings you want to shoot for. I won't cover all the different classes, but in general, class engravings are great, and points in crit and swiftness are nice on most characters. Supports are going to want to take specialization. Once you have the gear you want to use, you can begin the honing process, which has you use honing stones and silver to level the gear higher and make it give more stats. Interestingly enough, this process only applies to armor. All jewelry will simply be the level at which it dropped until you replace it with a new piece, and ability stones will have a whole different process which I will cover in just a moment. To hone your armor and weapon, in major cities there's an NPC whose icon is a hammer. Approach them, and then you can select the gear you want to level. You then must apply XP materials to 100%, and then apply another set to try and level it. From plus 1 to plus 6, honing is always 100% successful, but after that point, the success rate will drop down some each time down to about a 30% chance for getting plus 16. If this sounds daunting to you, don't worry, because those low rates only take effect much later on, and you can boost success with another material. There's also a mercy system that increases your chance of success after each failure, which will eventually guarantee success. For ability stones, the system is simpler in that when you get a stone drop that you want to improve, take it to the ability stone cutter and apply points across the engravings. The chance of positive success or cracking, which is negative success, is linked and identical. Positive successes and negative failures bring that success rate down, while positive failures or negative successes bring that success rate up. In general, you want to be trying to do positive effects when that number is greater than 50%, and negative effects when it is lower than 50%. Also, if you can, try to focus the higher positive rolls, so 75 and 65 percentages, on the positive effect you really want, so that you can get at least 5 node points inactivated. If your ability stone rolls well enough, you also get bonus vitality points, which increases your max HP. Once you have some gear leveled up a few times, you may be hesitant to swap it out with higher quality gear, but you absolutely should. In the honing station, there is also a feature called Gear Transfer, which costs a small amount of silver, but transfers all the levels from one piece of gear into another. So if you have a plus 2 helmet with only 20 quality, and you find another one with 80 quality, take these 2 items to the honing area and transfer the plus 2 from the 20 quality to the 80 quality for immediate stat boosts. Since we cannot level our jewelry, the best way to improve it will be through Chaos Dungeons and Guardian Raids, and specifically the Guardian Raids, as those drop more jewelry and ability stones by comparison. Guardian Raids take a note out of Monster Hunter games where you can group or go solo to hunt down a large monster on a time limit. When these begin, you must first locate the monster and then damage it significantly. If you struggle to locate the monster, you can use flares to help. Usually it will run away from the group at least once, at which point you must hunt it down again. These guardians have a lot of HP, they have no HP bar, and hit really hard, so they put your mechanics to the test. It's important to note that during these raids, you can only use the special HP potions, so make sure to have at least a few of the cheap 30% ones on you, just in case. You can only do 2 Guardian raids for loot a day, whereas the Chaos Dungeons can be grinded semi-infinitely. So if you want to grind as much as possible, that's the way to do it. If you are struggling to get enough honing materials, your 2 options are grind Chaos Dungeons to weekly caps, or explore some of the islands around Arcasia. Several of them, including Dreamgull Island, Shadow Island, Serenity Island, and many others, award large amounts of honing materials for the quests you do on them. Anyways, that wraps up today's video on Chaos Dungeons, Guardian Raids, and the honing system. I plan on doing one on Abyssal Raids in Gear, the Tower, and the Cube very soon. That video will also cover how Tiers 2 and Tiers 3 of the honing system and gear work. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe for more great videos like this. With all that said, I'm signing off. Remember to keep it beefy, boys, and I will see you in the next video.